I know. Tell me about it. Well, first of all, guys, thank you. I'm here on behalf of Sheena Currian, an agent friend of mine who I've worked with for quite some time. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity here, but then she put me in touch with Alyssa. I kind of come from the, I was talking to your colleagues over here. I am actually a former recovering realtor myself. I like to joke that I identify as a title agent. Don't worry, I'm not here to talk about title insurance. I'm not here to talk about anything that's going to bore you. I am here to talk to you guys today about artificial intelligence, AI, in particular ChatGPT. And I always like to start at the very beginning, and I got a sense from where they are. Are you guys, are anyone using it? Are you familiar with it? I'm sure you guys have heard people talk about it. I'd like to get like a baseline. Has anyone had experience?
Heard of it, have not used it.
Have any idea what it is? What it's all?
Like ChatGPT?
Just AI in general.
I've used that, yeah.
I say I would love to get your take as we go through because you
It's
now have
like
been
helpful for me, like
It's
when
what?
I'm just trying to I'm trying to get my wording, so I'll just type in something, like what I'm trying to say, and then it'll give me, and then it'll give me something, and I'm like, no, not quite, give me something else.
Well, at least you have experience in it because I've been doing this.
And then it gives me something else, and I'm like, try again, and it'll give
Good,
me
good,
something
good.
else. Yeah.
Good for you because a lot of people, I mean, I come from the very beginning when this came out, we'll go into that. No one even knew what it was. So it's been for over a year now. So a lot of people have heard of it. So I always like to just to give you a little background. I started my real estate career in 1979 when I was 5 years old. My mother was a broker. I didn't know that all moms didn't do this, but I rode around in her car and showed houses until I got my license in 1996 and I actually became a RE/MAX agent. And I decided there was a midlife crisis back in May of last year. Do I get out of the business entirely? I just did a lateral move and came into title. At that point, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm a 50-year-old male trying to get back into the title business. How can I come at this approaching what I love to do, which is to meet agents and lenders with a value proposition? I mean, I could be the donut guy, my last name's Baker. I could be the guy that takes you to lunch. I could do all the things I'm sure all your title company does, but it wasn't enough. So I started thinking, I need to come up with a niche. That just happened to coincide today with what we're going to talk about. Now, my disclaimer I like to start with is I talk rapidly. I give you a lot of information, it's going to be very overwhelming. But I do this, one, because I want to make sure you guys get a lot of value. Secondly, I'm filming it, so I will send you the YouTube video for anyone who wants to watch it. I'm also going to send out the slides, and you can interrupt me at any point in time. I am here today to introduce you to what ChatGPT is and AI, and throw a ton of concepts at you that I've aggregated. You guys get the benefit of me having done this over 60 times. So from where I was to where I am now, I have a lot more content, so I like to try to fit that all in. I like to start with where I came from, which was the early 90s, which is what the internet used to look like back then. And when everything changed and the iPhone came out, I'm a tech guy. I adopted technology, I love technology, and I was just telling them I'm the guy that sleeps at the mall when the new phone comes out. That's how much I love technology. So when I saw the advent of this technology, I immediately had a radar go up on this is something that not just realtors, but everyone in the world is going to be impacted, and you'll see why. So we're right now going through the biggest technical and cultural revolution in the history of mankind, and I don't say that lightly. You guys remember when the internet came out? If you would have foresaw where we were today, back then, or when the iPhone came out, this AI revolution dwarfs that. The actual CEO of Google likes to coincide it and say, this is more important than fire, and more importantly, electricity. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but I'm going to talk about it today. How many of you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Gary V, social media guru, talks about, is that?
I think that's you. Hi.
Hello!
Hello.
Lovely weather we're having there.
Yes, how beautiful. How you doing? How's it going? I couldn't tell who it was under the coat. Huh? You could tell. I couldn't tell who it was.
Hiding incognito.
Yeah, I was fine.
Did you have another appointment, or are you just dressed?
I have a viewing to go to this afternoon. Yeah.
I'm sorry for you, but I personally.
No, I don't normally dress.
I personally feel better because I thought not wearing yoga pants was a big move today with the.
No, I'm usually in jeans and
Okay.
guys and, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure I
I've
made
been
this
viewing,
thing too.
that was the other reason I'm like, I really need it. Pretty flat.
So the biggest thing that I know, first of all, hi, I'm Chris, it's nice to meet you. PJ. The biggest thing I get when I teach this class, either before, behind, or after, is Chris, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. What's the point? If AI and technology is going to do everything and replace my job and make me not have to be a realtor anymore, what's the point? Why even bother? Well, here's the take on Gary Vee, who's probably the definitive person on social media on how to operate your business. He took his family's wine company from a no-name company to a multi-billion-dollar wine company, and now runs his own dedicated. Let me make sure the sound's on so you guys can hear this, because I apologize. I want to make sure that you guys can hear. Give me 1 second. Sound. Let's go to sound and make sure that we got that playing both. All right.
People understand what I'm saying? Most people worked on farms back in the day. And then a tractor came out. And everyone's like, fuck that. Well, a lot of fucking jobs. And then people found new jobs. So what do I think? I think you can have any opinion you want. Technology doesn't give a shit about your opinion. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. And it's not gonna stop. So if you do a job that AI is capable of doing soon, you should think about that. You understand I gave the same keynote in 1997? The analogy I used then was, look, if you're the top salesman or saleswoman for the Yellow Pages, you might want to consider what Yahoo and Google are doing. So what do I think about AI? I think it's coming. I think it's coming fast. And it's going to be awesome. And there are going to be certain rule changes. And humans have proven to me that they have the ability to adjust to the new reality and deal with it.
So my point being is, guys, don't let this overwhelm you, because if you bury your head in the sand and you say, I can't worry about it, I'm not going to worry about it, I don't care, it's not going to impact me, you're going to, and this is something we'll address, it's not that AI is going to replace you. It is the agent using AI that's going to replace you. And that is the whole premise of today. I don't expect you guys to learn everything. I don't expect you guys to understand it 100%. What I do expect you guys is just acknowledge that this exists, and there are people out there taking this technology. Now, I've actually been able to take stuff from Tom Ferry and from others, some prominent real estate trainers, and implement and give you direct examples of how people are using it. But I'm also going to give you big picture ideas that maybe spark some interest on how you guys can move forward. So, ChatGPT was unveiled to the world in November of 2022. I remember it was right around Thanksgiving time when I started hearing about this technology. And I'm like, what the hell is a ChatGPT, and why is everyone talking about it? So I started seeing, back when we called it Twitter, tweets about what this technology was doing, and it was basically one of those things to say, the world's about to change. So what is ChatGPT? For those that don't know, and I'm not going to go into any more technical detail than this, ChatGPT is a chatbot, so you guys can talk to it, just like you would with the chatbot online. The GPT part is generative pre-trained. Basically, it takes all the information from the internet, every website, every podcast, every music song, anything you can think of, aggregates it into this data set, and then you can talk to it like it's your best friend.
Okay, I'm getting somebody else here because they need to hear you. Anyway, go ahead.
So basically, unlike Google, where we all do a Google search, and you can go and you look for an answer, and you try to find, you click on a link, with a chatbot, you can talk to it as if it's the smartest person in the world, your best friend, your therapist, your marriage counselor, anything you want it to be. It will respond to you and communicate to you, and I will blow your mind with some of the things you can do with it today. So just imagine having everything in the entire universe at your fingertips, and you now have the ability to communicate either through text, by typing, or having a conversation with your phone, and I will demonstrate that to you. Unlike Google, you now have something that can respond to you, communicate with you. Here's Sheena. Hey, sweetie, the door is locked. How you doing? You're welcome. And we're going to show you reasons why this is going to set you guys apart. A lot of agents right now are using it, and we'll talk about this, to enhance their listing descriptions. I think that's so mundane and boring, and yeah, can you do it? I think you should, but we're going to talk about more about that. So, one thing I always like to point out is, guys, this is not a human. It's very convincing. It sounds like a human, it responds to you like a human, it communicates to you like a human, but it's not a human. It's actually kind of scary that people are relying on this so heavily that they're not even checking to see if it's correct or not. Imagine if it has every aspect of the internet ever placed there, and you ask it questions, it will do a damn good job of convincing you that it's real, and it's called hallucinating. There are 2 lawyers that are right now being disbarred because they've referenced case law that didn't exist. But that is just a disclaimer, because I tell people, you should be an author, in other words, creating content, which we're going to talk about, but let this be the author, but you need to be editor, especially in real estate. You guys could be violating federal housing, you could violate ethics, you could say there's a bathroom that didn't exist, because this damn thing is so convincing. So, I knew it was serious. when Microsoft came knocking and says, we want to be a part of OpenAI, which is the company that founded it. And they said, we're going to give you $10 billion. And everybody's like, what is happening? What is this AI? So if you had to take a guess how long it took to get to 1 million users, this is when I knew this is unlike anything. This is the fastest technology in the history of humankind. Here's just a take on it. This is how long it took Netflix, Spotify. It took Facebook 10 months to reach 1 million users. It took Instagram 2.5 months. It took ChatGPT 5 days, 1 million users. To get to 100 million users, which again is laughable because now over 3 billion people are using it. This is how many months it took to reach 100 million users. We got Telegram, we got Google, we got Uber, we got Spotify. I mean, these are reasonable, 55 months, 41 months. It took ChatGPT 2 months to reach 100 million users. And this was last year. So guys, by right now, all estimates, and this was when I began my presentation, they're expected this is going to nearly be, and I'm not talking about real estate, it's going to exceed well over $2 trillion. Every aspect of every generative field I can think of has been impacted. The entertainment field, music, art, things that we didn't think were capable and replaceable as humans. God, when I can tell you the stuff that this can do, guys, it's coming, it's here, and people are using it every day, and that's my job. So here are some of the things I knew when I saw this. It passed the bar exam with flying colors. It passed the SATs with flying colors. AI in medicine is now being used. Google now uses it with their Palm database to correctly diagnose body scans with 99% accuracy. Because you now have, instead of your one doctor and your one set of knowledge, you have every doctor with every bit of knowledge and every research paper ever done consolidated so that when they do scans, it sees things that doctors and humans can't see. It's actually going to be considered medical malpractice in the foreseeable future if you don't use AI. That is how powerful this is. So you think it's doing all this? Our little real estate corner of the world, guys, it's nothing compared to what's going on. So when I saw that it was outperforming doctors, here's just the announcement. Again, I'll send these slides out and send you the video. I just want to make sure you guys knew about it. One of the things I like to do with it is to demonstrate things. There's now the aspect for you guys that are interested to literally go in and type whatever you want. I want to make a video about real estate. I want the guy in it to sound like David Attenborough from the nature documentaries. I want an upbeat beat of music, and I want you to talk about the pros and cons in AI. That took me about 5 seconds to write, and in a matter of 30 seconds, the AI generated this video, and this is again just a demonstration. I won't watch you make you watch the whole video, but I just want you to
become the greatest tool or the biggest
that
threat
is
in the
not a
real
real
estate
person
industry.
speaking. It used
As we
stock
stand at
footage.
the intersection of technology and property, the role of artificial intelligence sparks both promise and apprehension.
Imagine the listening.
Hold on to your
videos you're gonna
seats as
do
we
with this.
delve
So
into
I'm
the
not gonna
dark
make you watch
side
the
of
whole video, but I can set it out. Real estate agents, as typical, are the ones that are adopting the technology the most. They're the ones that came out the gate and said, this is going to be what I'm doing, and everyone's using it now for the listing descriptions, which I think is fantastic, but there's so much more that you can do it. So this is the key concept is it's all about prompting. That's what you say. A lot of people go in there and don't realize that they're just asking simple questions. We're enhanced by listing description. Write this, give me a recipe. There's so much more to it, and basically how you prompt it or how you ask it questions is how it's going to answer, and I will go in and do a demonstration of that. So how are you guys in the real estate business? Why do you care? Why is this something you need to be aware of? Again, just be familiar with this. If there's an aha moment that you guys can say, oh, I never thought about that, that's my goal today. It's not to teach you how to do all of this because, guys, it's too overwhelming. I can't even keep up with it. As soon as I walk out this door, there's going to be another app, another company, another service that AI is doing, and I'm just going to be like, oh my gosh, how do I keep up? So we're going to start talking about first, if you do not have an account, it is free to do. You can type in Google and go ChatGPT, or you can go right to their website, sign up with your credentials. You can do a free account. Everything we're going to talk about today can be part of the free account.
Free?
It is free. However, like every business, they have a monetized version. It's $20 a month. And I'm going to show you why you're going to want to consider doing that, because this is the de facto best one out there. But now Google has Gemini. There's a value to that. Anthropic or Claude is what Amazon uses, and Microsoft has Copilot, but they kind of just use this. I don't want to get into the weeds of which one's better. I'm familiar with ChatGPT because it's the one I've been using, and it's the one that is the de facto standard that came out the gate. When you get to the program, on your left, you're going to see every prompt, every question, every conversation, and then this box down here is where you type. Here's the beauty and the power of ChatGPT. Unlike Google, where you type in a search and you get a result, if you want to continue that conversation, you have to go back to Google, ask your question, your query, come back, and it's a back and forth. With ChatGPT, every time you start a conversation, that conversation will remain there. It remembers everything you say. So if you say, I like chicken piccata, I'm a former realtor, I'm in this, I do that, it's gonna remember that conversation, so when I come back to it and reference that conversation, it'll pick back up as if your ex-spouse that remembers everything about you. It will remember everything about you. So I do wanna touch on that, and again, I'm just trying to familiarize it, and then at the end of the presentation, I'll do some demonstrations so you can see what it looks like in real time. So here's one that I just started teaching, and this came straight from Tom Ferry, the best real estate trainer out, one of them out there. He says, here's something that I want you to do. Remember, you can talk to it as a conversational approach. He says you can have the AI take a listing that you're gonna go on. You've never met the seller, but you wanna wow them. You wanna set yourself apart. Yeah, you're gonna pray, put a sign, and put it in the MLS like all of us do. What's gonna set you apart? Well, clients are now starting to expect this. You're gonna have to step apart from what everybody else is doing. And here's what he suggests you do. You have the AI, the ChatGPT in this example. Say, all right, ChatGPT, I'm going on a listing appointment, and I need your help. And you talk to it, and I always say she because that's how I see her, and she's smart. I say, and by the way, if you're polite to her, it makes such a difference. It's really weird, but maybe I'm crazy. I need you to take this listing, and as a matter of fact, I'll demonstrate. I took it right from Zillow. I grabbed the listing description. This was just for my example. You might have the tax records, you might know the amenities, you might know the features. And I say, I want you to generate three approaches to a listing that I want you to generate. I want you to do one that's conversational, one that's professional, and one that's luxury. And ChatGPT is like, no problem. So I literally took and copied the features. You could do it from the tax records, you could do it for Bright, and I had her give me 3 separate descriptions of that property. ChatGPT will take and go, no problem, and will do it for me. And I'm like, okay, I want you to take it a step further. After you've made your conversations so that I can approach this from different angles, I want you now to generate 3 Facebook posts. Again, something you're well capable of doing. All of us have done it before, but this is where the luxury, if you think listing descriptions are great, wait till it does a conversational, a luxury, and a professional approach, and then it puts the emojis, the hashtags, the prices, and writes this fantastic description that you could say, you know what, I don't like that. I want you to sound like a pirate. I want you to write it as a haiku. I want you to write it longer, shorter, however you want, it will do it. So we're now 10 seconds in. You know what, take it one step further. I want to wow my seller. Not only do that, I want you to make an SEO optimized Instagram post on those 3 conversational approaches. And again, use the relevant hashtags and emojis. So now you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, so your social media is already covered and you've not even met the seller yet. Now, I want you to generate a 1,000-word LinkedIn article on my listing that I'm going to take, because I know I'm going to win it, and I want you to generate it, because if you're not using LinkedIn, guys, you're missing out. So now, what would take you hours to probably compile, it's done in a matter of seconds. So you're now fully invested about 60 seconds of your life. The AI has generated and written it for you. And lastly, if you're so inclined, YouTube, you can have it generate the YouTube script for you and actually tell you how to film, what to talk about. So now you walk into the seller's house, Mr. Seller, I just want to let you know I like to set myself apart. Not only am I going to do all this for it, but I've already taken the liberty of creating an SEO optimized approach to Facebook, Instagram, and boom, boom, boom. And they're going to go, what? You have now set yourself apart. If there's one thing you walk away from today, and I will show you how to do this, is this is the simplest thing you can do that's going to have the most impact. So here's Jimmy Burgess, another person that teaches real estate. He's actually out of Prudential out of Florida. He has a great concept. I didn't know this, but I used to use RPR. When I was a realtor, RPR, Realtors Property Resource, was great because only us agents got access to it, and it generated these amazing reports, but sometimes they were overkill. And you're like, do I do the seller report, the property report, which one do I print in color? Now, built into RPR is the ability to do what I just said. Right in when you go log in, again, only you agents can use it for free as part of your NRDS NERDS number. You can click right in after you put in an address. Right here is create script. So this is him talking about it, so you guys get a sense of how this works.
Show you exactly how to see this. So we're going into this and we're on the RPR main page, and we're going to go up to the research portion up top here, or you can see this tab that we'll click, and we're going to click on residential market trends. That's going to take us to this page where we have the ability. I'm just going to utilize R32459. That's the zip code we service in. And what's going to happen is it's going to give us all these reports. But if you'll notice right up here to the right, you'll see this create script tab. Now when we click that create script tab, this is where the AI comes in. It's going to take us to the next page, and it's going to give us the ability ability to choose our tone on what we're looking for, professional, engaging, or something that's conversational. And also we can address whether we're wanting this to be directed at buyers and sellers, buyers specifically or sellers specifically. Next thing we're going to do is this tab down here, we're going to click this social campaign, and here's what's going to happen is all of the details of the entire market of what's been going on, the statistics wise, is going to convert this to an SEO optimized social media post that gives us the ability that's going to have hashtags, it's going to have the emojis, and it's going to have
So basically, it's doing what I just preached, but it's built in and does all the heavy
Make
lifting.
sure you
So
change
you
it.
could literally use ChatGPT and do it yourself, or go right to RPR, which is pulling right from the data source. So let me stop and say once again, I'm filming this and we'll send out the slides, so don't feel compelled to have to write everything down. So I just want you to enjoy this. Also, the one thing you want to consider versus free ChatGPT and pay ChatGPT, free ChatGPT, though it's great, it's capped and limited to the data that they trained it on up until April of 2023. In other words, if you want to do real-time market stat update for real estate in Hanover, Maryland, as of 2024, it's going to go, I'm sorry, we're not limited to that because we're only trained up to that. The paid version says, no problem, you want to answer, we're going to go out and scrape the internet, and it will, we got you, and we'll literally bring that in and reference it. That was great until I found out about RPR. Guys, go right to the source, it has all the rights data in there, we'll bring everything in and generate fantastic results.
Can I ask a dumb question?
There's no dumb questions.
Because
There are no
I
dumb
started making things up. So you're saying this, in a way, for a listing presentation to use these tools. We can use ChatGPT before I walk into Mr. or Mrs. Jones' house at 123 Main Street. I can, because I was a slacker, I can sit in my car beforehand and get up to date with ChatGPT.
You can walk in with real-time
Okay.
market stats
As
on
long
that
as I
listing.
know the property address and give them that, if I don't know whatever reason I just stuck that day. And I don't have all my little folder and everything ready, I can basically go in without the listing is what I'm getting at. It's just.
Your goal is to win the listing, and you are doing it right from your car.
To get the listing, it's gonna have enough information in ChatGPT that I can go in there without doing.
ChatGPT is powerful, but if you can go right to RPR, which is a direct data
What's
source,
RPR?
a
You don't
even have to
realtor
pay for
property
that.
resource. And for those that you know, it's the website is www.NARPR, National Association of Realtors, which we won't talk about, realtor property resource. Guys, that is a free resource that if you're not benefiting from, so you're now going to set yourself apart from every other agent, except for the ones that I've taught this to. And you are gonna now wow the seller because it's the 21st century. What are you doing to set yourself apart? Why would they hire you? Yeah, maybe you have a great sign, maybe you have a great team, maybe you have a great marketing source. Guys, they want real relevant data, and now you have it. Speaking of, have you guys played with Google Trends? Google Trends is fantastic. This is a little bit tangent, but I had another trainer teach me this. I wasn't aware of this, but you know you can go to google.com, type in any topic you want, state, locale, and you can see real time what the world is searching for in real time. And what this trainer was talking about is, guys, we are, believe it or not, in the social media business. Our product is ourselves and the service we offer. Our homes that we list and sell are on the internet. People are expecting this. So how are you standing out? How are you going to put yourself out there? Well, how about this? Using AI, you go to google.com, and in her example, in her particular market in Chicago, that particular day, short sales were trending. So she took google.com based and found out that's what people were talking about. She then went to ChatGPT, said, ChatGPT, I want you to create a 10-part series on short sales that I can talk about in the Chicago market. I want you to do the LinkedIn article, the YouTube post, the Instagram, and I want you to do 10 series of videos that I can put out on social media, on TikTok or whatever. And she has now a series that lives indefinitely, boosts her name, her credentials, and guess who people are looking for when they want short sale information, that particular agent. Guys, you can do this with anything. You can go big and talk about the world, or hyper local and talk about your market, but you can look at Google.com and ride that wave of what people are searching for. So I just wanted to touch on that.
That's awesome.
Here's another thing about Google. Guys, we've all done Google searches and we get the answer that we want. Have you ever looked down here and seen people also ask, have you ever considered this? This is again, Tom Ferry. Why don't you take, maybe you're looking at real estate for Annapolis area, loan officer in Annapolis area, what are the top 10 mistakes buyers make when they buy a house? So the top 10 things listing agents do when they're staging their property. You're gonna get below that. Oh, by the way, people ask, and this question here is a good mortgage company. How do I look at a good mortgage company? What is the best place to get a house mortgage? Who is the #1 mortgage lender? Every answer is gonna be different. You take these people off ask questions, you go to ChatGPT, I wanna stand out. I need you to make me a 30-second video and a question and answer about that question, about that question, about that question. Now, you are now putting out content, however you do so on Facebook, social media, and now you're gonna be the person that's linking to all these questions. Guess what Google's gonna do? It's gonna reward you because it's gonna say, wow, this person Sheena's talking about all this information. It's gonna push you back. So when people go to ask that question, you now get, and your face, your picture, your credentials, that will set you apart. And again, we'll show you how to do that. So I'm going rapidly because I wanna give you guys a lot of information. By the way, this is a woman, Marky Lemon. She is the broker out of Chicago that has been teaching a lot of this content. Her job, she determined when she saw ChatGPT, was like, oh my gosh, I gotta start putting out content. And she says it's directly tied to the amount of content you put out there. And she said your income is tied to how many words. If you wanna make $100,000 a year, based on her example, you need to put out 32,000 words of content. I don't know about you, but how the hell am I gonna come up with 32,000 words of content? Well, I don't have to because AI and ChatGPT will do it. How are you today? So obviously, here's my biggest problem with realtors. And again, I can talk about you guys because I was one for 27 years. This is not content. I am in the title business and I am guilty of this, and there is a time and place. If you going out and holding a sign or they said yes to the address and keys, I love that. I do it because I do it for my social media. That's not content, so I'm not belaboring that. I just want you guys, everybody's doing this. This is not content. When you go, look at my new listing, and you walk around the house, there's a time and a place for that. That's not content. What I'm talking about content is educational, informative, or enlightening posts that people can do. Talk to people. Every day, everyone on social media is advertising for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Guys, how hard is it for you to either go to google.com, trends, or go to people's Facebooks? Oh, I see you had a birthday party, or your kid won a soccer game, or you got married, or had a kid. It is out there. People are screaming. How hard is it for you to actually go out there and generate content using AI, touching on people's stuff? It's going to set you apart. And again, I touched about the Google Trends. So here's a stat that I was shocked about. Do you know that 70% of home buyers forget the agent that helped them buy a house? I'm the biggest person. This is why I feel like I'm out of real estate. Is I was terrible at follow-up. You spend hours negotiating, driving around, marriage therapist, kid babysitter, going out to meals. They buy the house, and you're like, well, nice knowing you. And then you see them at the grocery store, you're like, oh God, I hope they'll remember me. And then you're embarrassed. I'm not saying that's any of you in here, but I just thought, how am I gonna stand out? How am I gonna make myself memorable? So my first thing I say is, you gotta use this for social media. I know everyone here buys a Facebook page, but my struggle was I'm a boomer, I like that my kid says. How am I gonna come up with content? Did you know that there's no reason now for you guys to come up with content because AI and ChatGPT can generate unlimited content, unlimited ideas. Here's just an example. I'm a loan officer for First Home Mortgage. I'm looking to use ChatGPT to grow my business. Can you help me? Guys, just ask it questions. It will tell you how to do it, and we will do demonstrations of it. I use it to create engaging posts, know your audience. I use it to show my true self and stand out. We'll do demonstrations of that. I like to educate and provide value to my clients. Again, setting myself apart. Instead of look at my listing, we settle. The clients don't care about that. If you're in this business, people want to know market updates. They want to know what you do as a realtor. What are your thoughts on this? Settlement, whatever you guys want to talk about, and AI can do it for you. I use it to generate humorous stories, teach lessons, success testimonials, hell, the stuff like mistakes. People want to know this stuff, and AI can help you do it. And I'm going through this quickly, but I will show you some examples. This is all about staying relevant, guys, and staying in contact with people. I use it to generate polls, questionnaires, contents. Hell, I had one the other day, a simple question. Who likes Starbucks? Who likes Dunkin' Donuts? My God, you thought I would ask like the most important question in the world, but people like to engage. And then when you reply and engage, guess who's top of mind? That guy that was talking about it. So it's all about knowing your audience and being authentic, guys. And the problem with a lot of us is we'll do something, we'll start it, and then we'll fall back. I got a YouTube channel, I got a TikTok channel, I have a blog, and then you fail to be consistent. Well, AI can be great at that because you basically can use it to generate the content, make the content, and actually schedule the content and tell you when to post it. We'll talk about that. Biggest thing that I advocate realtors do it for is using it for market updates. All of us want to know how the market's doing. What are my house worth? You can now use RPR or ChatGPT directly, and it will do it for you. So again, it's just an example of me asking a question for the lenders I was working with about the interest rates. And I said, maybe you want to do a comparison of what the 2008 subprime market was and what it is now. Guys, rates now are not horrible. Yeah, they're not 2.5%, But do you know what it was like in 2008? Do you know what a stated income loan is? Talk about stuff people want to know. And it will actually generate the post for you. It'll use the emoticons, and it'll also reference the data and show where it's getting from. So there's so much power in this. How about this? Did you know Canva, which is a great program that I don't know how to use, incorporates with AI? You can literally say, ChatGPT, I need to make a flyer, a door hanger, an infographic. I also need a Facebook post, a LinkedIn graphic, and also a thumbnail for my website. No problem, it'll do it for you. And you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is, I like that one, I don't like that one, I like this color, and it will automatically do it for you without any knowledge of marketing. Again, I'm giving the big concept, we'll go back and we'll circle back and do specifics. So this is me just going, give me some
You're
infographics.
exhausting me.
I'm telling you, I'm overwhelming you because I want to give you value in a short amount of time.
Oh my
But
gosh,
just,
you might not have heard this is being videotaped. He sent
I'm
it.
recording it.
We did, but still.
And that was my disclaimer in the beginning. God, I haven't even scratched the surface.
Follow a part two.
This is why. Today is the fire hose, and then we'll take a step back and I'll answer direct questions, and then we can do one more.
All-day workshop, yes.
How about this? You could take any topic from Wikipedia, incorporate it with Canva, and then use CapCut to make a video. So you guys want to come up with top 10 lists for how to move, top 10 lists to list your property. Well, this was just me asking that question, and it went out and made a video.
Ready to sell? Here
We
are
see
the top
these
10
videos
tips.
on TikTok all the
Clean
time.
up, make it smell nice, fix anything.
Obviously, you could do that if you want. Here was me doing a blood drive with a lender friend of mine. I had it write the Instagram post for me. So sitting there in the truck, I had to generate the content, and we had 5 more people come down there to sign up for the blood drive because of what ChatGPT did. So I indirectly saved some lives using AI. How about this? Not only does it do the content, create the content, tell you what to say, but maybe you're lazy like me, it'll create the social media content calendar and tell you when to post. So ChatGPT, I like TikTok, I like Facebook, I like Instagram. Can you make me a social media content calendar for the next month, 6 months, 2 years? And it will tell you, all right, Chris, on Monday do this, Tuesday do that, Wednesday do that. Guys, there's no reason why you can't use this. It's your social media content creator, it's your SEO optimizer, it's your author, it does it all. Again, lead generating and prospecting, people use it all the time. How are you guys getting your leads now? Are you paying for Zillow? Are you doing expireds, FSBOs? It can help with that. What about personalized email campaigns? I don't know if anyone's doing this or using email, but you can use it for market analysis and reports, again, showing your expertise. Hell, if you're still doing blogs, how do you come up with a concept? I know a lot of people would pay for the Buffini program and they would get their items of value, they would get that information. Now you just have ChatGPT do it. If you like it, have Canva make the post, and you're in a matter of seconds. You don't have to pay anyone to do this because it's all built in. So here's some examples of some flyers that it made, just again as an example. Coming up with top 10 lists for real estate, cooking, holidays. Again, this is just an example. YouTube, we talked about this earlier. If you're into YouTube, you can use it to show your value, provide advice, tips. This is where the power comes into play. You want to talk about maybe specific neighborhood aspects because it's all about hyper-localization now. If you want to do polls and surveys, it will help you do that. Let's see, FAQs. I know a lot of agents, and I know one in particular in Baltimore, the Ron Howard team of RE/MAX, uses this to basically make neighborhood videos for every area of Baltimore. So when anyone types in the Baltimore area buying a house, guess who pops up on YouTube? Well, guess who owns YouTube? Google. So anytime anyone does that, because he used it to generate content that was relevant and specific and entertaining, and people eat it up. Maybe you want to talk about the crime in schools. How are you getting this content out to people? Are you going on your blog? Are you putting it on videos? How are you sending this out? So here's where it comes down to. It's all about being real. Now, all the image, by the way, I didn't touch on this, everything you've been seeing is all AI generated. This is basically me saying, give me a picture of a realtor in his car with a cell phone, and it generated that. Little gimmicky, little cartoony, but it's so much better than that. How about this? Being maybe a day in the life of a loan officer or a day in the life of the realtor. People want to see that because, as we all know, this is what our friends think we do, what my mom thinks I do, what customers think I do. Herding cats is what I think I do. Society thinks we're shysters, and what we really do is sit around and look at our computer and worry all the time. Well, how do we convey that? How about this? I don't want to get on camera, Chris. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. Well, guess what? AI and some of the software out there can generate an avatar for you. So I thought this was funny because this was in 2022, like an eon ago. This is basically an AI generated image, and I thought, that's kind of gimmicky. Let's take it one step further. Let's make them talk.
Thank you for taking a moment to visit.
Oh my God.
So now you go on a listing appointment, not only do you have your reports because you just generate them, but you have an avatar that's talking, hi, Mr. Seller, welcome to 123 Main Street. Here, and blah, 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 blah. They're gonna go, what? But let's take it a step further. I want someone that looks real. I don't want this goofy guy. I want someone that's real. So this gentleman here is not a real person. This is completely AI generated. And again, this is over 18 months old. You don't want to see how realistic it is now. Let's make him speak.
Realtor of all time.
Again, weird, kind of better, but it's still kind of still. Again, I laugh when I see this because it's so much more advanced now. I said, hold up, this is even better. I don't want this rando, I want myself. So let me go ahead, can I make a picture of me talk? Again, this is not my voice, I was just using it as demonstration purposes, clearly.
Unlimited videos.
So now you're
Personifying each property listing.
I didn't tilt my head, that's a still photo. I didn't blink, AI used my lips, matched to my eyes, not even scratching the surface. So I'm like, okay, how far can we take this? This is a software called HeyGen, H-E-Y-G-E-N. HeyGen.com is the definitive de facto standard right now in AI generated avatars. It said, Chris, I want you to record a 30-second, 60-second video. I was sitting in my living room. I got on there and talked about my kid's soccer game. About 10 minutes later, it says, all right, got it. We got your voice. We got your mannerisms. Just make sure you don't wave your hands. And then it says, what do you want me to say? I'm like, what? So I literally typed up something from ChatGPT, and this is not me speaking. It is, however, my voice it cloned. It is my mannerisms, and it is my face. So now this is...
To the future. This is not me speaking. This is an avatar created using 2 minutes of video footage I uploaded. This allows me to create unlimited videos of content. I can change the language or tone of my avatar. This will only get better.
So people go, yeah, Chris, that's real. Okay, you recorded a video and pretend. Okay, I don't speak Spanish. Somebody does. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that I took ChatGPT and I made this and I said, change that into Spanish, and then I copied this, and now, guys, you can talk to anyone in the market and anywhere. You can quadruple your business. So tell me what this sounds like.
Bienvenidos a mi presentación sobre inteligencia artificial. Me gustaría hacer una demostración del poder de la IA.
Arabic, Chinese, Russian, Georgian, every language on planet Earth. I never have to film. I can make one video, type it in, and we'll film. Guys, freaking out yet?
Yeah.
That's the name of the company, HeyGen. It's gotten out. They just released last week. You can now do what I just did, but with walking. I can walk around and talk and mannerisms, and you can't tell. It's indifferent. So, guys, I'm not telling you this is the de facto standard. I just want you to be aware of the technology. Write me a YouTube script on the top 10 reasons to list your home. Boom, it'll do it right there for you. And this is, again,
During selling your home,
this is built
here
into
are the top
ChatGPT. I like it for short form video, guys. If you haven't realized by now, short form video is everywhere. Everyone walks around with their phone. Everyone's neck is hunched over. Nobody goes to restaurants and talks anymore. We stare at our phone. It's because videos are shareable. They're easily digestible. The relevance now is eyeballs and attention is the new currency. So you have to be using short form video. And if you're not, you're missing out. So here's a great app, and I use this all the time. I don't know if anyone's out there making videos, but this is an app, not ChatGPT. It's called Captions. And I'll let her do the speaking for me.
This video is that I'm actually staring at a script and reading from a script, but a neural network makes it look as if I'm looking at the camera. And also the captions that you see here were not done by my editor. They were done by a neural network. It's just amazing how the world is changing with AI. All you have to do is upload a video where you're reading from a script. The app is called Captions, and it has this feature where it makes you look at the camera. Isn't that exciting?
So you guys have all this ability to generate content now. You can just read from a script and look down there, but the camera makes it look like you're looking at the crowd. So guys, really cool. I use one called Video AI is the one in the video, but I use it for advertising, coming up with personal content. There's a point now, and this is really being where I think it's going to impact us as realtors. Our clients are going to be able to visit your website, your portal, wherever you have yourself online, and they'll be able to interact and speak to the chatbot, and it will respond as if it was you. It's gonna know everything about you, your business, how you talk, if you want it to be a video. Right now, people aren't able to tell the difference, and now with voice control, AI voices and avatars, there's gonna be a point in time where you're gonna be able to replicate. Trainings that you receive will be from trainers that aren't real, but it'll look real. Kids are learning now about the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. They're seeing like live people teaching the class. It's the world that we live in. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see, let me go back to, these are just some ideas that I use it for, that I want to keep harping on. I use it for keywords, so if you're paying someone for content creation, you're paying thousands of dollars for SEO optimized keywords, you can skip that guy because you just type it in, and I just use this example for a Maryland title guy, and it'll give you the keywords. So if you're doing Facebook advertising, Google advertising, marketing, you can fire your copywriter and your SEO guy because it does it for free. Maybe an email, you want to use it to come up with a call to action, schedule a session, join a webinar, get somebody to act. Well, the AI, instead of you trying to figure out how do I get these people to open it and click, come up with captivating headlines so that people know and are likely. A woman that used this from another class I taught said she's getting double the open rate, which is astounding in email, if you so inclined. Come up with ideas to talk about in your email. I use it for script writing, and what do I mean by that? Well, maybe you want to practice objection. You're new to the business and you're worried about dealing with a disgruntled seller, or maybe you need a seller to come down on their list price but they don't want to. Maybe you want to work with for sale by owners and you don't want to say it. You can tell the AI, hey, act like a seller who's disgruntled. Hell, act like a new buyer's agent that's not following through on the time constraints, and I want to gently persuade them to do what they need to do. It will generate the scripts and you can practice as if it was a real person. This is me just saying, create me a phone script with relative objections and my responses as a realtor. I'm dealing with a difficult seller who refuses to consider a price reduction. And the AI, literally, I just hit enter, will generate a mock conversation with really, really good, and I can practice this instead of doing it in real life and making a fool of myself. So you guys have coaches, you guys have trainers, you guys have all this marketing. You can now tailor this. I don't like this, make it funnier, make it seriouser, make it longer, and it will remember, and you can come back at any time to reference that. Maybe you want to use it to narrate your open house tours so you're not fumbling around, or do voiceover narrations. Maybe you want to know how to talk to a first-time home buyer versus an experienced luxury seller. It can generate the scripts for you. How about this? We need client testimonials and you don't know how to solicit them. The AI will write the request from you in your voice. You can use it for coaching, but my favorite is texting and communication. I can copy text into it and translate it. I can copy text into it and truncate it. I can copy text into it and have it elaborate. I use the example of my middle schooler. There's an entire separate language that middle schoolers talk. It's called 13, 14-year-old, and I literally had no idea what my son was saying. So I use ChatGPT to copy and tell me what are the top 10 AI, if you could tell me, words that middle schoolers use. Now these change on a daily basis, but it made me laugh because I'm like, oh my God, now my wife thinks I speak Polish and I know what she's saying. I have no idea how to speak Polish, but ChatGPT does. So I can copy her text and translate them and respond. And she's like, oh my God, you're working so hard. No, I'm not. That's AI. Like maybe you want to deal with a disgruntled realtor. You can literally copy and paste it and it will respond for you. But you know it's relevant and you know it's real when it hits the zeitgeist of the internet and it becomes South Park. So this made me snicker when I saw this.
To me and was acting all hurt because she thinks I don't care about her? Uh-huh. When she said that she wishes I would reply to her text the way that Clyde responds to Bebe, so like, how do you do it? ChatGPT, dude. ChatGPT? Yeah, dude. There's a bunch of apps and programs you can subscribe to that use OpenAI to do all your writing for you. People use them to write poems, write job applications, but what they're really good for is dealing with chicks. Here, check it out. There's tons of ChatGPT apps for your phone. So then I can take whatever latest dumb thing Bebe texted me, I copy it, then I open the GPT app, click respond to, paste your text here, hit write, it just thinks for a second. You would look great with any length of hair, trying a new look could be fun. Copy that into messages and send it off. It's super easy and convenient, and it saves me a ton of time because she texts me so goddamn much. Jesus Christ! I probably won't do it, but thanks for being supportive. Cut, paste, write, cut, messages, paste, send, there.
Obviously that's humorous. I'm not saying you can do that, but you can, and will anyone really know? Here's where it really gets powerful, guys, and this is the paid version. You know you can upload documents, any document, PDFs. You want a PDF to become a JPEG. You want a PowerPoint to become a Keynote. You want an Excel spreadsheet to become a PDF. That's all fine and dandy. Here's where the power is I use the example of a home inspection report I did. I uploaded a 150-page home inspection report, which would have taken me an hour to figure out and write the PIN and look at the concerns. ChatGPT, I said, can you look at this PDF and tell me what are the items concerned? And it gave me the list of itemized concerns. I'm like, are you kidding me? Then I took a multiple offer scenario on my uncle's house, had 10 different offers back when the market was crazy, and I had to analyze the spreadsheet that I had allocated, broke down concessions, list price, sales price, buyer, type of loan, and I said, what's the most likely offer that I would take in this situation? And it picked the offer I took because it can analyze data faster than the human mind can and can tell you suggestions like, this is unbelievable, it's just scratching the surface. I uploaded the residential contract of sale. I can now converse with the contract and ask it any question I want. What's the difference between arbitration and litigation? What is time is of the essence? Oh, by the way, can you explain that to me as if I was a 6-year-old? I want you to write me a will. I want you to write me a lead. It is literally drafting legal documents, analyzing documents. It is, the sky's the limit, and I'm not even scratching the surface. You can generate images, as you've all seen in the demonstration here. We could talk about that. You can upload audio MP3s, maybe you have a podcast, it will transcribe it for you. I talked about the data analysis. You can research your competition. A lot of agents are doing this when they're going on to a listing appointment. Find out how that big agent sells, what their success is, and combat that with the response that AI can give you and why you're a better agent. These are, again, it incorporates what's called DALL-E, and I can show you an example, but you can do it on your phone. You can generate any image you want. These are just some images of the stressful life of a realtor. This is Google talking about the implementation of AI and where it's going in the future, and I'll let you get a take on whether you think this is astounding.
Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
This is last year.
Hello, how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
So that goes on and does that. So guys, we have Amazon Alexas. We have Siri. We have all the Google voice assistants. We've been using AI for years. We have Netflix recommendations, Spotify playlists. There'll be a time in the very foreseeable future where you'll walk in and go, Alexa, I've got a sleepover this weekend. I got 10 boys, 2 are lactose intolerant, got a budget of $100. I need to make something to dinner. I need to get the food. It'll go out to Instacart, order the food, bring it over, give you the recipe, and tell you how to do it. And hell, maybe even have a robot make it for you. I'm just like, oh my God. Built into the phone, if you guys have iPhones, Apple has what is called live speech. This is an AI feature built into the phone. This may not be relevant, but there might be a point in time where you want to keep your voice forever, or maybe you're going to lose your voice. But this is the phone in real time. I read about 150 phrases, took me about 15 minutes, and this is what the iPhone does now.
Thank you guys for having me.
That's not me.
I really appreciate the opportunity to come talk to you today about the new powerful technology known as ChatGPT using AI. This is just an example of how—
This is archaic compared to what you can now do using some of the technology. As you guys saw earlier, I can do my face, I can do my voice. It's getting really scary. How do you know what's real? So ChatGPT can now not only do it on your computer and type, you can use the camera on your phone to take pictures of items and it will identify. Do you want to know how to park there? Sure, it'll tell you if you can. Solve math questions. Hell, you can take pictures of objects and it will identify and tell you what it's for. You could go to dinner and go, I like what you're eating. What is that? I don't know. Take a picture of it. ChatGPT will identify what you're eating. How about this? You go up to your refrigerator and take a picture of your fridge. It will identify what's in your fridge and tell you what you can make for dinner that night, and go out and order Instacart. This is happening right now. I was in a restaurant the other day. I'm like, what is this diet over here? Told me what it is. I can now have conversations with this. This right here is kind of embarrassing and creepy at the same time that I admit this, but I talk to this device using the voice that it generates and get more conversations with my phone driving down the road than I talk to my own family. But I'll demonstrate that because, guys, it is unbelievable. When you have literally like Jarvis, Iron Man, and the Avengers, ability to have conversations with what sounds like a human but knows everything about everything. People are using this for therapy. People are using it for advice. Hell, it's even getting so concerning that people are now, there are companies that are generating AI love interests, and people are falling in love with robots because it talks to you the way you want to be talked to, says what you want to say. It is astounding, and we're all looking for connection. That's what we're looking at. So the most popular company out there right now that's generating voices is 11 Labs. You can upload a sample of your voice, and then for the fee, whatever they charge, you now have the ability to say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, in any language, forever. So if you never want to do a voiceover again, maybe you want to do faceless content, you can upload your voice and then just type what you want, and it will say. And this is, again, astounding. Google, I don't want you to sleep on it. Google has their version. It used to be called Bard. It's now called Gemini. The power with Google is similar to ChatGPT, except it owns Maps. YouTube, Gmail, Google Hotels, Google Travel, all your Google Docs, everything that we've been using for free all these years is all incorporated in one place. I used it to go on my trip to Mexico. I said, going to Mexico, it gave me the flights, it gave me the restaurants, it told me what to do, had everything there. Then I referenced my son's Gmail account for a yearbook I couldn't find, and it went back because it had all that data. That's free to use, but they do have a paid tier version. This is an example of where we're going with loan officers and qualifications. There'll be a point where clients are going to be able to call and have a conversation with AI and not realize it's not a real human. And this is just an example last year of a real popular called AIR.
Protected from AI? Listen to this AI sales rep cold call a prospect. This is using AIR AI, a platform that claims it can do 10 to 40-minute conversations using natural language and an AI robot. This AI sales rep is able to cold call a prospect and turn them into a qualified lead on the phone.
Hey James. I'm not interested, man. Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too. But I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order but left the page. Yeah, I was curious, what had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go? Fine, sure. Why did you
He goes on to continue the conversation. He ends up qualifying them and getting them financed. So this is where we're going, guys. This was one I did with an agent the other day where I went to Bright and I categorized a particular neighborhood and I grabbed the public tax records and I exported them as a CMA file, CMA view, and got a PDF. And then I uploaded the PDF to ChatGPT. I said, based on this market data and the deed record date, and the equity in the house based on the loan, and I can't remember the exact form, but what I did was I said, who's most likely to list their home in the next 2 months? And because it had the deed record date and had the tenure of the house and had the value of the houses based on the CMA I did, it was able to give me that. Guys, can you see the power and where this is going with you being able to research data? It's astounding. If you do put a lot of content out there, AI can also take videos and parse it up for you and make them into smaller vehicles. I know actually will rank them by viability and put the quotes on there for you. Let me see. This is just rounding out. This is Tom Ferry talking about will we as realtors be relevant in the future with AI?
Time. And in my opinion, the answer is, of course, yes, not just because I'm biased, but I think about it this way. No different from a robot that might be able to perform the surgery a little bit better or be a little more precise than the actual surgeon. The surgeon is going to be there to make sure that everything is right. That could be the role of a real estate professional 30 or 40 years from now, where maybe AI and a robot is doing a lot of the mundane tasks, the sort of industrialization of a real estate transaction. Maybe that's not going to be done by you anymore. But what is going to be done by you is the conversations with the client, right? It's the guiding of the customer. It's looking into their eyes and seeing their emotion and making sure that you have the empathy and the ability to connect with them and help them make good decisions. The actual sausage making of the transaction, you're not going to be involved with. All that's going to be gone. It's going to be you and the client, and that is always going to be our place.
I mean, that's what it's about, guys. It's saving you on the mundane, repetitive, boring, time-wasting tasks that you're not valuable at, and it's keeping you in the forefront of what you are in conversing with clients. I'm not going to go over this one a little. I can come back to that one. But I just want to touch on AI. Apple has been quiet on the AI front because they do what Apple does, and that is wait till they're ready to pounce. Perplexity AI is the company I believe they're going to incorporate and replace Siri with. This is free to use. It is Google search, but with AI. In terms of contextuality, answers, responses, there's nothing better than but I would recommend you play along with that. Let's see, I think that's the last slide I have, or maybe it's not. But I want to stop there because I don't want to keep going on because I throw a lot of information at you. I want to answer questions. I want to hear, I'm going to send you, by the way, a little bit more. These are some actual quotes that you can use. This is the last one I wanted you to see. This was to blow your mind, but this made me laugh. We all have databases in our CRM, Excel spreadsheets with thousands of names. And if you wanted to get content, you probably do a mail merge and you use Microsoft Word. Well, what if you want to send out a video, but you only want to make one video, but send it out to everyone in there? Well, there is a service that does that.
A great AI tool for you realtors, especially if you focus on your sphere of influence, but there's a ton of uses for what I'm about to show you. So it is called BeHuman.ai. And check this out. You shoot one video one time. Hey John, it's Andrew. I wanted to invite you to my client event. And then of course, anything else that you would generally say in that video. Then here's the really cool part. You upload a CSV file, or of course you can type them in manually if you would like, their name and their email address, or however you want to get in touch with them. And you upload it to the system and hit submit. What this is going to do is it is actually going to manipulate the video to change your words and your voice itself. It's going to be in your voice, and change the name. Instead of hey John, or be hey Steve, hey Jessica, hey whatever the names are that you put in that list. And then it's going to send that customized video to them. So you can blast this out to your entire database and have it be personalized.
I mean, think about the time that's going to save. I mean, that's the world that we're living in. So this is.
Use one of those AI guys.
What's that? Or you can use one of the AI guys. Again, I'll send this out, but this is from Jimmy Burgess, the guy that was talking about RPR. He created 40 prompts for real estate agent, 8 that this will link you to my Google Docs. I can come back to this in a minute. If you want to reach out to me, there's my contact information. If anybody wants the slides, here's my cards, let me know. I just wanted to just come out here and just blast you with information, but now I want to take some questions or some actual Q&A. Yes?
So being old school here in the.
I appreciate that.
So what is the protection though, or is that the next stage that we have?
Elaborate, when you say protection.
All right, so like once I've done this a couple times, so my avatar or whatever, and I'm out there, can someone then go in and blast out to all of my clients something I'm not saying that I haven't agreed to type thing?
Well, think about that. It's a very valid point. Is that possible? Sure. I mean, what's to say that's not already happening now with the political race?
Yeah.
Is it Trump? Is it Biden? Did he really say that? Yeah. Is that my mom? And here's the bigger concern is we've all heard about our grandparents, our parents getting calls and scammed out of their money. Now they can replicate your grandson's voice and replicate their face. So I always like to advocate, a little off topic, is have a code word for everyone in the group that has a family member. That way, hey mom, I need money. Chris, is this really you? What's the code word? That's something that will combat that. But it is a real problem. We can tend to focus on that. I even bypass the video at the end because it is, if you focus on that, it's the same thing with the internet. There's bad and there's good. And I don't even want to get started on the AI generated pictures that people are making with middle schoolers that are taking still photos from people's social media, removing the clothing, and then putting that out there. Is that real? What about AI generated images that aren't real people? Are there people is someone actually being harmed? I mean, you can think of nightmare scenarios. So is there any protection? I think the only protection is to be aware that this is out there so that you can be cognizant as you're moving forward, because there is no protection. The problem is that the cat's out of the bag. When this came out, the world went, what is happening? We didn't foresee this happening for years. So OpenAI was a nonprofit that had this arm that made ChatGPT. And they were like, we want to introduce this technology to the world. Well, the market grabbed on and said, there is a $1 trillion idea here. Microsoft invested, and it took off. It got so bad that just last year, the CEO, Sam Altman, got fired from OpenAI, and the world collectively lost their mind. Like, what's happening? This guy went from 0 to an $80 billion company. Why did they fire him? Well, it turns out that the profit version started overtaking and surpassing what the nonprofit was designed for. And they actually came up with what they call AGI, which is not artificial, it's going to come to general intelligence, where basically the AI started thinking for itself and responding in ways that they didn't expect. And it scared the hell out of everybody. They said, we got to put the brakes on. Well, guess what's not going to happen? You've got Google in an arms race with Microsoft in an arms race with Facebook. And then you've got China. Whoever commands the technology as a whole is going to command the world. I mean, think about it. I'm demonstrating the surface of just a small little niche market. So I think that what now is happening is that capitalism is taking over, and they're putting all these products and going, guys, look at them. We're all eating it up, just like we do with Google and all their products. If you're not paying for it, you're the product. And I think that this is just happening so fast that you can now generate music. OpenAI, the company made this, now has what they call Sora, which is their text to video. It's surpassing what a real movie director can make. You can't even tell it's real. You can at foreseeable future are going to be able to come home and say, I like the Game of Thrones. I know the series is over, but I want you to continue to make me episodes. And by the way, I want Tom Hanks to be in it. And maybe Meryl Streep, because I like that. And it will make that content. Maybe you want to watch a rom-com and you want to pick people on it, and you will subscribe to actors. You'll be able to make your own music. You can do it right now. And how do you know what's real? I don't know how to answer that question. Just be aware that it's happening, and it's happening fast, and it's in every industry. I just wanted to come and say, guys, this is what's happening. You need to be aware of it. But specifically, I wanted to give you that listing example. For those that, and I'll kind of touch on it real quick. Another guy that I followed, he says you want to use, and I'll send these slides to you. The beauty of this AI software is it allows you to create what are called custom instructions. You can go in there and essentially tell it who you are, how you operate, what your business is about, how you speak to your clients, and then you can have it respond the way you want it to respond. Do you want it to be funny, professional, so on and so forth. So he came up with a prompt that allowed you to generate a really in-depth version of who you are. And then it gives you a list of questions. And then I took those questions and I put them in a Google Doc and I answered them. And then I pasted the answers back into ChatGPT. So now ChatGPT is an expert on Chris Baker, the former realtor, now title guy, who's looking to grow his business. And every question I asked from this point forward, it knows that about me. And it knows that I have a son and I'm married to a Polish woman. And I'm like, this is crazy. So now I took it a step further and I had it come up with 90 additional topics that I can talk about on social media that I never even thought of. Imagine in your real estate business. And these prompts I can send to you. And then I had it generate a content calendar based on my answers and the new topics I talk about, and tells me what to do and when to do it. And I then created an ideal candidate of the type of agent I'm working with. So I now have a demographic that I can target, so I'm not shotgunning everybody. I'm focusing on, this one is a tech-savvy realtor, Rachel, 30 to 45 years old, primarily based in Anne Arundel County, operates statewide, potentially with a brokerage or running their own small agency, mid to upper range, reflecting a successful career. Tells me now I know who to target because AI knows how I operate, the type of people I'm looking for, and this is, again, I can show you how to do it. And then it can give me a more targeted persona, create the perfect blog post, and hell, I can even generate Instagram ads. So that's all included in there. But again, I don't want to get too technical. I just wanted to give you a big picture, but I wanted to see if you guys had any success stories or any questions, or even wanted a demonstration of anything, because I threw a lot at you, but I want to get more specific if you wanted to. Too much information? Yes? Please.
So how do you feel like AI is going to affect, like a lot of real estate agents still use mailers and postcards and stuff like that? Do you think it's going to affect that also?
Well, sure, but I think that, as I said in the beginning, it's not there to necessarily replace every agent. It's the agents that are using it. For that example, there are companies out there, one of them is called Handwritten, that will do those postcards, those mailers, and do everything and write them in pen, and take that off your plate. So I think that's valuable and clients love getting it, but are you doing it? Are you writing them? There's a whole bunch of them out there. One of them is called Handwritten. All you have to do is type in AI handwritten notes, and the company will just you just send them your database, and then they'll take that database and they will write the cards using robots, and it looks like you wrote it. You can give them your penmanship and everything, and then when the client gets it, it looks like a real, that's just an example. But in terms of impacting, I think our business is always going to come down to face-to-face communication, keeping your name and a brand out there. How are you keeping your name and brand out there? Is it through postcards and mailers? Is it through YouTube videos? Is it through short form video? I don't know. But there's so many various ways you can use it. I do a lot of it, but I would say pick one. Figure something you want to do and say, I'm going to dive in. But you don't have to be an expert. All you do is sit down and go, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm in real estate. I want to come up with an idea, and let the conversation flow. I mean, you could. I admit, I learned just from trial and error. But yes, sir.
So if there's, say I want a landing page, or say I'm like running my own business.
Okay.
I have like proprietary trade secrets, and then there's potentially like private information that I don't want out to the public that like I'm being entrusted with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like the memory aspect and kind of like the logic sequencing, and different type of like data files or different like pieces of information. Do you think that as far as like proprietary trade secrets and private customer data, it's going to be something that's done through like a very sophisticated like branch of Microsoft where everything is kind of like protected, or are there different, is it going to be like I'm going to be using different services, and it's kind of, and I'm not gonna have that continuity between the different parts of the business.
Too late.
Like, what is that all?
Too late, all right. I mean, I remember when this came out, I'm like the ChatGPT AI guy at Liberty Title. And then like 6 months after, Liberty Title, corporate Fidelity National Title, large title company says, you're not allowed to talk about this, you can't use it, don't put company trade secrets, blah, blah, blah. Because of course, there's a concern. What if that violates privacy or something about the company? So I've yet to hear of anyone personally using AI that's had it do something like that, but it's always a concern. I mean, I know that built into ChatGPT, they now have the ability to do what are called GPTs. It's their version of the App Store. And you can literally generate any kind of app you want. You want to make a recipe, you want to make coloring books, you want to make stickers. Hell, I use it for I actually created one for all my personal finance, and I took all the PDFs of my books of personal finance and I uploaded it. I did one for social media, for personal development. I did one for real estate agents. So I have all these dedicated specific apps, but it's my information. Is it possible somebody could review it? They say that they're private and they don't share, but you can monetize those apps, and if people are using them all the time and you're using proprietary information, it could be a concern. But more importantly, artists are getting frustrated because they're generating artwork that are being trained on real people's stuff.
It would make more sense to have like, I guess, from like the breadth of like everything that you wanted to do, would it make more sense to have individual GPTs built for specific tasks and like silo them out and maybe have some that go to like the front end?
Yes. I don't mean to turn my back on you, I'm just demonstrating.
Or do you combine it and make one big?
Well, that's the question. I mean,
GPT.
all of those are valid questions. I mean, I guess the answer is, what do you want to do with it? Like, for example, let me, so you guys can see. So over here on, I have all the conversations, just so you know, if you ask me a question and I want to come back to that, it'll reference the question. But up here under GPTs, you have this knowledge database of everything, and you can see you want to write for me, you want to come up with a logo, you want to use Canva, you want to generate art image. I mean, any topic you could think about, you could type in here and it will actually give you a dedicated app. I have my own personal Mind GPTs that I've created, and it's a matter of like a minute to create them. But I've got one for my fitness, I've got one for just giving me advice, I've got ones on how to summarize contracts. And I've created all of these so that I can personally answer questions on that particular topic. Because if you start out as the broad GPT or ChatGPT, it's the whole world. Sometimes I just want a specific example. I've got one for real estate, I've got one for the title company, I got one for being a dad, and sometimes I just want to have conversations, but you can use it as broadly or as specifically as you want.
Do you know the trajectory for the like my GPTs, like what they're planning on doing?
They already started to monetize them. People that are the top of the list, back when let me go back to the screen, the people that are there's one guy called Grimoire, I'm trying to remember, but like some of these people are here that make, you can tell based when you click on one, and we'll just do this first one. Let me get one that's productivity. Let's just pick on PDF. So if you want to talk to PDFs, you can tell 10,000 people have used it. The more people that use it, just like an app, the more people, so you can monetize it. So if you have an idea of AI that you want to come up with, and it could be anything from like, I'm a yoga instructor that likes to cook, but I also like to play video games, and I'm also a realtor, and I'm not describing myself. You could put that in there, and maybe that becomes something that people like, and then if people start using it, you can monetize it and become, well, I don't know, but I mean, this is probably more technical than I wanted to get into. I just want you guys to know that the ability to converse with ChatGPT, it just starts with asking a question. But let me demonstrate, and I'm going to turn off the camera so I can demonstrate.
It was hard to get